Hello, everyone, and welcome to Strange Brew Media Group presents the interviews. I am your host, Jamal Jupitur, and tonight I want to welcome a special guest to the show. She is a force to be reckoned with and a serious jack of all trades. Not only does she have a beautiful voice, but she is a wonderful songwriter and producer, not to mention a graphic artist as well. Very, very creative. Please show some love for G Hammond. How are you? How you been?
I'm good.
What's happening? That's what's up. That's good to hear. All right. Well, for my first question, and I do this with everybody. This is probably like my signature from when I, start an interview. Tell the world who A.G. Hammond is.
Woohoo. That's complicated, but I'll say this: there's going to be a book. But I'm a mom, I'm an aunt, a friend, a daughter, a sister, a human rights activist, a graphic artist, a fine artist,
Yeah.
and most recently a producer. I've kind of produced stuff in the past, but I'm also a writer.
Okay.
Um, but I'm just another soul trying to make it through the world.
Yeah. That's yeah. You're doing a good job. You got a lot going on. That's great. That's really great, especially to spread positivity out there with what you're doing. I can dig that. Um, where does your creative inspiration come from?
I would say real life. Like I write a lot of stories.
Okay.
A lot of my musical influences told stories growing up, so that influenced me. And as far as taking a chance on how I sound, um, trying to be a little different, which is kind of hard. I mean, everybody's got their thing, right? But I think that Prince, even Billie Eilish, as of recent, love you,
Yeah.
Billie, Madonna, the Black Keys, and Lenny Kravitz, kind of, they're really creative and different, and they're not scared to try stuff. So
Yeah.
that's where and it just comes. It comes from my kids. It comes from real life.
Right. Yeah. That's what's up. That's great. Yeah, definitely. Those are the best experiences in the world. They also make for the best songs, because it's so real. You can almost feel it. If you ain't going through it or if you're going through it, you can feel it. So that's a great thing.
Yeah, most recently, it's definitely men, women, all genders who have gone through domestic violence. So that's what's influencing me right now.
Yeah, that's a serious situation too. I mean, that's that's something that the world should take a little bit more serious. It should be talked about more, I think.
Yeah, 'cause not to get too dark here, but it's truth. So like, there's a lot surrounding domestic violence. There's
Yes, it
human
is.
trafficking and there's sexual violence and all this
Yeah.
other stuff. And so um, uh, I've been through a lot, and I'm not the only one.
Mhm.
So I kind of approach it with some sarcasm and sense of humor on this album too.
Mhm.
There's, you know, there's seriousness, but you have to get through stuff, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen to you in your life, and you have to get through stuff. So that's how I approach some things. That's how I get through stuff. Sarcasm.
But that, yeah, that's a great thing. Yeah, true indeed. But you doing that and you talking about it is helping other people as well. Like other people that are going through that, you might be a voice for them. So that's a key thing. That's very important. Moving on though, is there any musicians that you've mentored in your career and that's kind of followed you?
I can't honestly think of anybody in particular, but I have talked to a lot of young people
Hmm.
and older people and tried to help them just throughout time, throughout my whole, career
Right.
in music or time in music. Um, so there's not any one particular person. I mean, they may step up and say, "Yeah, she helped me one day" or whatever, but it's mostly just in general people asking questions.
Okay. All right. It's cool. Being that you are self-sufficient and compose and produce a lot of your own material, talk about some of the outside producers that you work with.
Well, I got to be honest. My ex produced a lot of my stuff in the past, and I'm just beginning that journey. Like I had a say in some of it, but I'm just really beginning the journey of producing my own. But there's some really great people who have been working with me, and I thank them from the bottom of my heart because
Yeah.
we're all trying to work together. But Red on the Beat
Okay.
out of Memphis, Tennessee,
Yeah. Yeah. Gentry Jones.
his
He's
stuff,
produced for them.
he is amazing. So yeah, you seem familiar with him.
Yeah, I know who he is. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know what's funny is I've known him since he was little, when he was messing
Wow.
with some drums as a kid, maybe 3, 4 years old or whatever. And so it's kind of cool to see him blossom into.
Man, you watched him grow. You've watched him grow over the years. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So another person I just met in the last few months is Ruben Royster, and that
Okay.
guy, his stuff is lit too. Oh, he's amazing. He is. He's out of Atlanta. I mean, but he's right. He's worldwide. I mean, he's been doing this thing for a long time, and it's an honor that he would even take a moment. I mean, not to cut myself down, but I'm saying he is just really amazing, and to take time to talk to me and work with me on a couple of songs. And like I said, he's out of Atlanta, but he's a musician and producer and engineer, everything you could think of, a writer, everything. It's amazing.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Have you done any writing and producing for other artists?
I'm working on that. Uh,
Okay.
I'm not going to say who I'm trying to get the stuff to, but I'm working on that. That's another thing. Like in the past, I might have done a little bit for tag team back in the day, but I don't know if it was ever used. But I'm here and there, maybe
Okay.
who aren't out there yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Tag Team was just in a commercial not too long ago, man.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
heavy rotation.
sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Ain't it like an ice cream commercial or something like that?
I thought it was Geico.
Oh yeah, Geico, but it's dealing with ice cream. I think they're saying something about Scoop. There it is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
so funny.
yeah,
I,
pretty catchy. Yeah.
it's
Shout
amazing.
out to them guys, man. They worked hard out here. Doing their thing.
They they knew me as Elise Gay. I changed my name because when things happen in your life, you change your name. So they knew me as Elise Gay. So yeah, shout out to Tag Team.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Explain some of the past shows you've done throughout your career and what those experiences were like for you.
Okay, I'm gonna try and make this quick for you, but there are a few of these. One of my favorite things that I did a show at the Hard Rock Cafe with Tony Gentry on
Okay.
guitar,
All right.
and um, and he's part of Gentry Jones, and
Of
they have
course.
an album out called Virgo.
Yeah.
Put that in there. He's an amazing person, just
Yeah.
really great. We woke,
Talking to them guys was just amazing. I interviewed those guys, and they just got so much going on. Such brilliant dudes.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. Shout out to Neil, uh,
Yes, yes,
Neil Jones.
indeed. Shout out.
Um,
Yes.
and of course, if nobody knows, Tony Gentry is Red on the Beats Pops.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah. We all knew that. Well, for the world, I guess the world didn't know, but they do now.
so the talent runs in the family.
Mm.
Okay, so that was really a great show. And then some cool things that happened to me. I got to do a short tour with Tony Terry. He's an R&B artist. He's
Oh yeah, I had him on my show.
okay, yeah, that guy's yeah, he was really talented. And then I opened for Too Short in Atlanta.
Oh, saw a couple of his shows. That boy know how to throw a show.
Yeah, yep. And that was kind of cool. I got to sing the national anthem at Shea Stadium before they shut that down in New York. I was stationed at Fort Drum, New York, and that
Okay.
was in the 2000s when the soldiers came back from Afghanistan. So that was really, it was incredibly awesome because
Oh, I
it's
bet it
so
was.
many people together.
Oh man, I bet it was.
And I got to sing at the another one is around the same time. I think it was in the same few days. I got to sing at the feet of the Statue of Liberty with the USO, and I was one of the only hip hop pop groups that did this.
Hmm.
They had, all the big band sounds and all that stuff, and it was amazing. I got to meet the USO. So if people don't know what the USO is, I won't take the time here to tell you, but just look them up.
Cool.
And then I got to perform overseas in Bosnia while I was a soldier.
Ooh, wow, that's big.
It was big.
Man.
It was incredible because I was still
That
a soldier.
is.
So I was walking around like when I first showed up there. I am a broadcast journalist also because that's one
Man,
of
you just do everything. Man, you just do everything.
try to focus on the music so and my children.
How
But
do you find time?
you have to organize.
I
But
thought I was a busy man.
that was cool because it was funny. I walked into like they had like where everybody ate, and I walked in there, and I had on these pumps, but I had to have my Kevlar on too, which is the helmet they wear and the
Right.
vet
Yeah.
weapon for people who don't know. So I had my weapon slung over me, all dressed up, all dolled up with these 7-inch heels on. And because they didn't know what to do with me because I was a soldier and a singer.
And yeah.
So I had to follow protocol.
Hmm.
We're just like, what? It was really funny. But that was amazing because it was U.S. soldiers and Italian soldiers and some others. That was beautiful. So
Yeah,
that
it
was
was.
my favorite. And just one more. I know your time's limited.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Do your
Okay,
thing.
one more. I got to do a shout out to Brooks Butler. He is
Okay.
a music teacher at Claxton Elementary, and we have done a couple of shows for Our Voice, which is a local sexual violence, trafficking nonprofit. They're amazing people, and so we did a couple of shows. And Brooks Butler is part of Cult of Kings.
Okay.
Shout out to y'all.
That's what's
So
up.
those are some of my favorite ones. There are more. I could dig up a whole bunch.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, definitely. Very
Amazing
cool.
people that were amazing, things that happened with me. So
Hmm. Yeah. From performances to meeting people. It's always great. Speaking of performances, have you ever dealt with performance anxiety? And if so, how did you deal with it?
I have a little bit right before I sing. I just take deep breaths and I meditate, do prayers,
Hmm.
and I get through the first couple of notes and I'm good.
Hmm.
I've never met a musician who didn't say they didn't have jitters, like a
Oh,
little.
yeah. Yeah.
So, but it's normal for people listening. If you're a musician or singer and you're just starting out, it's normal. You just have to find your space before
Hmm.
get.
Yeah. You gotta kind of find your niche on the stage, and you gotta kind of, get your routine and get this. You become someone else when you get on stage. So, once you get up there and you get comfortable, you block the audience out, and it's just like you're doing it for your family. You're totally comfortable. That's my way of looking at it, I guess.
I got you. Sometimes it depends on the situation, but I like to engage with the audience a lot.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
like to talk to them. It actually makes me feel better to talk to them. Like sometimes before a show, depending on how big it is, I
Hmm.
would walk around and talk to people because
Oh, wow.
um, humanize to them a little bit. Now,
Mm.
of course, if I was Lady Gaga or somebody else,
Oh, yeah, that would be difficult, because you wouldn't just be able to freely walk out there.
right,
But
or someone like that. But
it'll get to that point, though. You know, it'll get to that point. You know. I mean, you will be up there in the air where people are just can't be around you without screaming and losing their mind. So when you get to that, you got to learn how to. That's something brand new that you would have to learn how to deal with.
actually, I've had it's been up and down. Not to get off task here, but for a lot of musicians, there are lots of talented people out here,
Hmm.
musicians, singers, and writers, and they have been on the outskirts, so to speak. They have what's the word I'm looking for? Not made it, that big time thing, and but they're
Hmm.
just as good as anyone who has made it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you know.
There's so many people out there like that.
And so the thing is, I think they, well, I'll just put it this way. They, it's like when you, I don't know how to say this, when you're performing and stuff, um, I'll just move on. Let's just move
Oh, well, I mean, you had it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
on.
You had it.
Well, it's
It's all natural. We ain't, this ain't scripted or nothing like that. Yeah, I'm asking you questions, but whatever you say is just go with it.
um, artists, um, whether you get really big or not, you know, I had my time. I had times where I wasn't a nobody,
Mm-hmm.
where I did really well on the East Coast, and I was in this magazine called Tafreeja. This was back in the '90s. Old head,
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was doing pretty good, and people knew who I was. There you go, get my verb right. And when I did the tour with Tony Terry, I had a couple of songs on the radio in the South, so people knew who I was. So I got jumped a little bit. Like we would go into a restaurant, people like, oh,
Yeah.
that's Elise
Yeah.
Gay, business, right? But there were times that and it was just up and down. It's been up and down for me. So, I've had some of those experiences, so I understand somewhat, but nothing like, the Michael Jacksons or anything. So
Yeah.
that's,
The princes and yeah, yeah. But, you
well, yeah,
know,
moving on.
yeah. Sometimes it's good to not be that way because you can't go nowhere. Sometimes being behind the scenes is the best way but you being an artist, have to be out there. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But describe your favorite and least favorite part about being a musician.
Um, well, personally, I missed a lot of missed opportunities,
Okay.
because I say because of my ex, because he was very abusive.
Ooh.
He would
Oh.
control. He would get in the middle. I had lots of opportunities with different people, to have deals. But I also, that's one of the things. The other thing is finding people who are serious and want to work, and there are no games, because
Mhm.
industry, everybody knows it's full of games.
Oh,
And
it is. It really is.
I think at this point in my life, I'm kind of tired of the games as far as people. Like I want good people to work with. There's still the other games,
Mhm.
that I can deal with. But as far as real people, I'm just working on this album, and I want to make this happen. But too much ego and all that stuff with people, I don't have any patience for that anymore.
Yeah.
Especially right now after COVID, everybody's trying to make money.
Yeah.
I
You
can't.
can't work under pressure like that though. When it's like that, it's just best to not deal with the drama at all because you may get something done for a certain period of time, but it may eventually filter over if you're dealing with negativity. So that's something you kind of want to steer clear of, especially when you're trying to create. You know. So
Absolutely.
yeah, yes indeed. But yeah, what strengths do you have that you believe makes you a great musician and songwriter and singer, all that great stuff that you do?
I'm always working on my craft.
Okay.
Never stop working.
Mm-hmm.
Musicians who say they're perfect, nah. You,
There's no such thing.
you're always working. You're always perfecting.
Mm.
There, perfection. That's a people look at, say, Prince and say, oh, he was perfection. Every
Well, he was perfection to how he felt. You know.
right, and exactly, and that's exactly where I was going, because perfection is also in the eye of the beholder.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you may not hit a perfect note, but there's a feeling in that note, and people can vibrate with that note.
Right. Right.
So, things.
Yes, indeed.
So working on your skills, not I think on a personal side, not tearing each other down like we were talking about a minute ago.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so working on your craft, not tearing each other down, being honest.
Constructively being honest. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know, but yeah, that's someone once told me there's no such thing as constructive criticism because how can you build somebody up and tear them down at the same time?
that's an interesting perspective.
Shout out to that guy too that said that.
Thank
Great, brilliant artist. But yeah, but I can see that. Just doing you. You know.
Yeah. And I think another thing is, you're a singer. Please sing live.
Mhm.
You know, none of that lip syncing stuff. Or you know, I understand sometimes if an artist has something they've contracted with and they are losing their voice and they have to sing with themselves, you know, and stuff can't be canceled. Maybe a situation like that, but just try to be, you know, be honest in your performance. Whether
Mhm. Well, they gonna know if you ain't being honest. You know, they gonna spot that right away. Yeah, definitely. I mean, unless you are just a hell of a great actor or whatever you do, but if the heart, if it's real, it's real. And you feel that throughout yourself. The person that's on the outside looking in, I should say. But do you have any weaknesses that you're actively working to improve on? You feel that you
I'm so sorry, I didn't turn my phone down. Um, Production skills.
have? Okay.
You know what's funny is I have some great equipment I got.
Okay.
I never took part in that. That was part of his control too. But I watched for so long. When I picked it up, it's coming easily. Like it's natural for me. I've been around it so long,
Mhm.
and I think just the production. And once again, always improving on working on my voice,
Right.
improving on writing. It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It never stops. Definitely. Prince taught us that. He kept improving because I think his piano skills was his strongest, and he kept improving on guitar skills. And before he passed, he had gotten phenomenal. So it's just like you just got to keep working, keep perfecting what you do. That's a great answer. Yes, very great answer. Um, Let everyone know where they can hear your music and how they can contact you, get in touch with AG.
the best way is to find me on Facebook, on Messenger.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's a good way to contact me. Also, you can go to SoundCloud. A
Okay.
Hammond. I'm working on a website. I'm working on the album. So all that stuff will kind of come together at one time, more than likely. And I'm working on a book. But the
Okay.
best way to get me is find me on Facebook. It's AG Hammond. AGHAMMOND. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, that's what's happening. So if you could indulge a little bit, I'm going a bit off the record with these because this ain't even on my question list. But can you talk a little bit about the book that you got that you're working on?
I can. Thank you for asking. Um, it's mainly a book about what I went through to find my children. Uh,
Oh, great.
yeah, but it entails, you know, all parts. So it's basically what happened to me as a singer and my ex being my producer. We were unfortunately like Ike and Tina. I always say we were like Ike and Tina without the fame.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, that's rough.
But see, Tina
Ooh,
was one of my heroines. Tina running across to get to the hotel with just a few pennies in her pocket was always a vision I kept with me in
right.
the middle of all this. So I want to shout out to Tina Turner. She's
Mhm.
probably a heroine for lots of people, I'm sure of it, you know.
Yeah.
So, um, but that's what the book is about. It's about how I got them back, but it's also about the abuse that they endured and what I went through.
Wow.
And music was always in the middle of all that. So
Wow, that's amazing. That's incredible. I can't wait to read it. You are definitely you came out of all of this. You definitely came out on top, and you are definitely a survivor. You are strong. You are definitely a winner. And God has definitely been with you, and just to see you come out of that is amazing. Because some people don't. They don't always come out like this, and they have a long road to travel. Sometimes they never get past stuff. So, and kudos to you, definitely.
thank you.
That,
You know what? You're assisting me though. I appreciate it because
yeah,
one of my goals mainly is to have this album reach out, and part of it maybe go to an organization. I haven't figured out what organization yet. I appreciate you. I'm glad I met you. You know, we met.
yeah, yes, indeed.
So
Yeah, yes, indeed. Yeah, we're definitely. continue to network. I'm gonna have some of your performances on my show when it starts back. My show will be starting around April, so yeah,
Awesome.
we'll definitely keep you going and keep you in rotation with everything I'm doing, stuff like that. Anything you need, reach out to me. You know,
Thank you.
definitely. All right. One more question.
Uh-huh.
If if you could change one thing about your music career, what would it be?
That is so complicated to say one thing. Um, okay. Well, I would not have stayed with my ex so long because I had all these opportunities.
Mm,
But at the same time, I wouldn't have my children. I love my children.
yes, yes, indeed.
But and also, we never know what our experiences are going to lead to, what our karma is going to lead to.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so watching my ex, despite him being the really broken person he is
Mm-hmm.
and was, he taught me certain things about music that I didn't learn somewhere else.
Right.
Watching him and working, in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
That so I would say that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the main thing because I needed the freedom to create and express.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow, that's amazing. Yes. Yes, indeedy. And this has been a great interview. This concludes my interview with the lovely, amazing A.G. Hammond. It's really been a pleasure. Great interview. Thank you so much for reaching out to me and giving me the opportunity to do the interview. It's been truly an amazing one. Definitely.
It means a lot. Thank you. That's,
Yes.
that's
Yes, indeed. Like I said, I'm gonna definitely be in touch with you. I know you got tons of videos, you got tons of material out there. I want to use a couple of your performances for some of my shows.
I gotta be honest. I'm not sure if I got a bunch of video out there. If you find some,
You got a couple of them though.
I got a couple. I got one or two
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah. Well, we should at least be able to get some of them on there. We got to get you out there.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Definitely. All right, I will be in touch soon. Ag, you have a great one, and it's been a pleasure doing this.
You're welcome. And thank you. And I just want to say to the world, I wish you all peace and harmony.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Definitely. Okay, we'll talk soon. Okay. See you later.
Bye bye.
Bye. It's been a great one. We're at the end of the interview with the brilliant and talented singer-songwriter A.G. Hammond. Join us next week as we interview more brilliant artists and entertainers. Feel free to subscribe to us on all the platforms that you see at the end of the credits. I am Jamal Jupitur. And until next time, everyone, see you later.